key to success. We haven't taught a big thing. Yeah. Each one have to teach one. Must bomb beside the one. We haven't taught us. Each one got to teach one. Let's learn from one another. Let's go.
We as the youth, we are the future leaders.
ntho e motivatang bophelong ke ho bona motho o mong a tswella pele ka phelo ba hae.
The fire in me burns brighter than the fire around me.
The question isn't who's gonna let me, but it's who's gonna stop me.
Hello, I'm Khalil Osiris. Welcome to Each One Teach One. 40 years ago, South African youth rose up to fight for their right to education. Today, our teens rise again to break the cycle of gender-based violence that many South African women carry with them as lifelong burdens. Youth are rising up with the intent of ensuring that the right to learn in an environment free from sexual violence is their everyday reality.
Teens Alliance in Ending Sexual Violence in School.
Anna lebitso la ka ke go itsimang Sharon Moeletsi ke tsa grade 12 Matleke Secondary School.
Lebitso la ka ke Sekgwane Justice from Matleke Secondary School. I'm 18 years old.
Lebitso la ka ke Zanele Kgatebe ke dula Everton ke na le dilemo tse 15.
Lebitso la ka ke Tshepiso Sebabole ho tswa Sasolbeke ke na le dilemo tse 19. Ntho e motivatang bophelong ke ho bona motho o mong a tswella pele ka phelo ba hae.
Well, I'm so happy actually to be here today because this whole idea of Teens Alliance, I mean, to ending sexual violence in schools, how did this come about?
Power and Adapt came to Matleke Secondary School a year ago. We were having a session where we tackle sensitive topics. To name a few: sexual violence, sexual harassment, sexual assault, and rape. The next 2 days is where we were instructed to plan campaigns, and those campaigns that we are going to initiate in our school, like the campaign that we did, the Teens Alliance in Ending Sexual Violence in Schools.
We were told to come to our school and initiate campaigns and to teach people about what we've been taught also.
ADAPT is a women organization that started in 1994. It's one of the organizations that is working with men as part of the solution in addressing gender-based violence issues. We collaborated with one of the organizations known as POWER under the program known as Teens Alliance in Ending Sexual Violence in Schools. We are working in 12 high schools, 10 in Tembisa, 2 are based here in Everton, mainly focusing on addressing gender-based sexual violence issues. We work with 25 boys, 25 girls, ensuring that we address sexual violence issues. I think statistics indicate that there are 47% of sexual violence that are actually occurring in high schools. So the two organizations realized that there's a need for us to intervene to ensure that we address these issues in high schools.
One of the things that leaps out at me as I listen to this is that it's girls and boys. Why was it important for you to work with girls and boys together?
We work with gender equality, we work with issues, gender-based issues that occur in both males and females. So we need each other to collaborate together.
Were you surprised by anything that you found as you begin to do this work on gender-based violence?
Yes, I was surprised because I only knew one definition of rape, and I did not know that you can also rape another person using objects.
And also what we've learned is that, according to me, I thought only women or females are being raped. But ever since I've been with Power and Adapt, we even knew that even males can be raped. That was a surprise to me. According to our research, most of girls are targeted because of their family background, also lack of support at home, and also like if you don't have like financial support, they might tell you that I'll give you this and that, and like I give you this and that, and you can have a sexual intercourse with me. Then yeah, it also the reason, and also like crime rate and somebody's mindset. If men like have a negative mindset, they think they have authority, forgetting that nowadays everybody is equal, we have the freedom.
We know when we talk about gender-based violence, when we think about perpetrators, oftentimes it's men. So we need to take the initiative, and we need to stand up, and we need to work hand in hand and fight all this abuse that is actually occurring in our community, and say, not in our name, not in our name as men, we're going to allow other men to actually paint us with same brush.
So as boys, as young men, were you aware, and after you started doing this work, did you become aware that you had any of those thoughts, that you just assumed that you had more power than a girl?
Yes, we've got power over women. We've got to use that power to protect women, because we see that women are most victims of violence. I'm just showing that the fire in me burnt more than the fire around me. Men around me are also perpetrators, but then if they can see me doing something right, doing something opposite than they do it, they can also adapt it.
Let's learn from one another. Let's go.
Lebitso la ka ke Minki, ke dula mo Fine Town, ke na le bana ba itsu. Ke hotse e le hore ho na le mme wa ka le bo malome le my great grandmother le bo ausi ba ka le abuti. Ne re dula a Lintoni mo Free State. So a ke tsebe hore ho la ha etsahala eng hore ke end up ke se ke le ngwana fela o tsamayang mo ka ntle ke sena motho o nkatileng. Ausi wa ka le abuti wa ka na ba le sekolong le bo mmangwane ba bang batho ba mo polasing ba sebetsa mo polasing ho seng ba tsamaya ba ya polasing. Ne ke na le 3 to 4 years. So malome wa ka a tla a re nka mo le chomi ya ka ra ya mo ntlong ya hae. Ha re fihla mo ntlong ya hae a qala a re fa dijo, because na bona hore re lapile. A re fa dijo, ha fetsa a kuka nna a mbeya mo matraseng na sa roba le betheng. A bula mnyako a lata ntja a e kenya ka mo ntlong. A re if le ya rasa ntja ye e tlololoma e jang nama ye le thole ne, then anka Vaseline, then a robala le nna. A etsa ntho e for a very long time ho sena motho a bona. Dipeni tsa teng ne di le deep hore I couldn't take them. So nako e dintho tse kaofela tse di etsahalang mme wa ka ona se teng, ene ne ho le thata hore nka bua le ausi wa ka or anyone, because o tla reng ha hore motho o robetse le wena o le ngwana. So ke la ka decide hore ke ebe ntho e ke itholang. Motho ana di tseba dintho tse etsahalang hona ne ile friend ye ya ka fela ba bana ba sa tsebe.
Sexual violence and gender harassment thrive in silence. For effective change to take place in our schools and communities, survivors must speak out, secure in the knowledge that they will be believed and supported on their path to healing. How important do you feel it is for young people who have been targeted, and maybe even if they haven't been targeted but have seen it, how important is it for them to communicate with their parents?
These kind of things are very sensitive, especially when it comes to parents. Like, it's not easy to say to a parent that I've been raped. The parents won't believe that that's the first day. The parents will be surprised, like, how, when, and they'll start pointing fingers at you. They'll blame you for that. So I think it's better if they first start in the community dialogues, like talk to someone who you think that he knows better about those kind of issues. Yes, then I think that person will talk to your parent. It's very difficult to say to your parent, I was raped.
And that's part of the challenge. That's part of why what you're doing is so critical. You have community dialogues where there's experts and there's people who these organizations bring to the occasion. Do parents get information at those community dialogues that can then sensitize them to help them be better advocates for you?
Yes, like we always have parents meeting monthly. Yes, where parents will come and be educated about those issues. Like, you should accept this when your child says this to you. Like, they're trained to that. Yes. So most of the parents are coming, and the participation is very good.
Lebaka la hore bana ba tshabe bua le batswadi ba bona ke hobane batswadi ba thata hore ba bue le bona. Ba bang ha ba batle nje ho bua le bana ka sexual violence and some of the abuses tse teng.
Nna ke bona ekare lebaka ke hore ha tshwantsho a tlo bolella motswadi wa hae se etsahetseng ka yena, o tlelwa ke tshabo ya hore motswadi o tlo mo araba ka hore seo se o hlahetseng ke tlasa botoutu ba hao le ho sa mamele ha hao.
Lebaka ko bane batswadi ba rona ba tshaba ba etsa ba kgetha di-partners tsa bona over bana ba bona. For instance, ke na le ngwana o mong o kileng ka bua le yena last year. Ngwana was sexually molested by the stepfather. So ha a bua le mme wa hae a ba mo jwetsa hore a ska motena, ntho eo ha ya etsahala. So ke lona lebaka le etsang hore bana ba tshabe ho bua le batswadi ba bona ke hobane batswadi ba batla go protecta image tsa bona, ba protecta di-partners tsa bona, ba lebala hore batho ba bohlokwa maphelong a bona ke bana, and ngwana ha ana le these challenges tsa sexual violence o hloka parent ya hae, o hloka motswadi wa hae hore a mo supporte, a mo rate ka nako eo.
Ngwana ha nahane dintho tsa ho ya police station. Leponesa ne le khokgo. No tshaba ho tla bua le leponesa. So ntho tsa bo maponesa tsa bo di ne di siyo. So ke la ka decide hore ke ibe ntho e ke tholang.
What would you say to some young girl out there who's maybe young and maybe feels her voice is too small?
First, never blame yourself and look for help out there, because there are people that can help you. And I think silence, it is the thing that breaks us as youth, because people don't speak out. So I think speak out and tell the whole world what has been done to you and find help.
Where is it that they can go if you're sitting in the Western Cape, or if you're sitting in Limpopo, or if you're even in Umlazi? Where would you go to get help?
I think they will go to Tutuzela Care Center. Tutuzela is one-stop center. You can find police, can find social workers and doctors.
Talking of Duduzela Care Center, we can find it in any public hospital.
So they're located in public hospitals?
Yes. Normally they are in public hospitals.
Which means they're accessible nationally?
Yes.
In South African Police Services, we have a section where there is VEC, which is Victim Empowerment Center, where survivors or victims can go in that side and they can get help. There's a room privately where you talk and you have a right to choose. I don't want a male counselor or a male police or a female. Yeah, you can choose because that's where you, in VEC, you have to be free and to relax so that you can get help. They can be counseled, they can take their statement and they can refer them to further help, yes.
Motho o rape-uweng ha ho bonolo hore a heal because rape ke ntho e pheta-phetang hangata ene ha o nahana hore ha se phoso ya hao hore o be moo and then ntho e just ya etsahala ho ba thata mara batho tshwantse ba thole counseling o ka re o ka ba le leeto le batho ba ka lenkang ba rape-uweng kore ba tsamaye ba ntshe ntho e ka sefubeng because ntse ke le so le nna ke na le nako ya hore nakong ha ke shebile TV ke utlwe hore this yena ha ke kgone ka nako ena ke holang ho no sena dintho tsena tsa ape mahaeng ha ona dintho tsa hore hona le di-program le di-counseling or le o dlala netball or hona le di-shelter mo ka balelang teng because if ntho tseo di ne di le teng nna nka be ke bile street kid sa o qala mo Freestata the way life in entreat ka teng.
Teen violence ending sexual violence helps the people who were raped. They can express their feelings in a different way.
We are using a lot of tools in addressing these sexual violence issues. We are having sporting campaigns and art therapy. In an art therapy, we consider art therapy as a silent social worker because during the painting, you dig your t-shirt in different types of paintings and the pressure rises. What will my t-shirt look like when it comes out? But then you also heals inside because the moment you dig in, you communicate with your t-shirt or whatever you are painting. You communicate with it and you heal because I'm talking from experience. Yeah. And we also have a sporting campaign. During our sporting campaign, it's where we play sport. After playing a sport, you go get educated. After getting educated, you play another sport. In that we interact in sport because we are targeting a lot of youth. And so youth like sports, and so we are using a tool of edutainment where we educate and play sport, entertain, educate. That's how we are doing it.
And I've learned few things. We played soccer, then they said to us we should be silent. Then they asked us afterwards what happened while we were playing, and I saw that if I don't speak, they hurt me and I shouldn't say anything and my voice wouldn't be heard.
Whatever she's saying, it simply shows that if you're being sexually violated, when you are silent, you are killing yourself. But then when you speak out, it's like you are getting healed. Yeah, that's how it is.
Has there been any instance of rape or sexual violence in your school that you personally or as an organization has taken on?
Yes, we have daily classes that we have after school, whereby people will come. It comes from your own will, whether you come or not. Okay. It comes from your own will, whether you want to heal or not.
Now, I understand you're doing a weekly radio show. What is that about?
We started going to primary school surroundings Then we realized that it wasn't enough. Some people can't get hold of us. So we decided to go to the local radio station, whereby we unpack those issues every Monday. That's why people get us.
At parents' meeting, we teach our parents, but at radio station, we teach the whole parents that are listening to the radio station and tell others how they should handle the issue of sexual violence.
We as Matric, we went through our code of conduct, thoroughly so, and we realized that no, there is a gap in between.
We proposed the school's code of conduct to the school management, and that's where we discussed it hand in hand.
You actually critically reviewed your own code of conduct and you saw a gap, and you decided to address that gap.
And I'm also proud that we are the first school to initiate the code of conduct that stipulates sexual violence issues. Like, I can say national, because the last time I checked, there was no school that says anything about sexual violence.
And in so doing, you now are pushing this up to district, and they've responded favorably to you, positively to you.
Yes.
You know, this, for me, we're in June Youth Month. We are hearing everywhere about June 1976, which resonates for me personally because June 1976 in America, I was convicted, having been a member of the Black Panther Party for self-defense and a radical and thinking that we could change the world. I was convicted of a crime, robbery. So in June, in America, I was on my way to prison while the streets were exploding in Soweto in South Africa, led by youth. I was 17 years old. I look at you today, and I hear about 1976, but I think that there's nothing more important in 2016, 40 years later, than the work that you're doing.
We as the youth, we are the future leaders. So if we live in an environment like this, where there is crime rate, sexual harassment rate is high, we won't be free. The question isn't who's gonna let us, but it's who's gonna stop us.
Thank you for being the help that's available. We honor you. Lack of awareness of this issue is no longer an excuse for parents, educators, or school governing bodies. Our learners are ensuring that their future is a safer one by bringing the reality of sexual violence and harassment in places of learning into the light. It's now up to us to support them. I'm Khalil Osiris. This is Each One Teach One. And until we meet again next week, stay in the light.